Hi, this is Joel here with another review. And to continue with my Wrestlemania review series, I'm going to be discussing Wrestlemania 4, where the world is watching. And I'm going to have this one did get a lot of hype. And of course, the main premise for this particular Wrestlemania, which happened on March 27th, 1988, is mostly with the heavyweight championship tournament. This took place in the Trump Plaza Casino and Convention Center in Atlantic City, New Jersey. But before discussing any of the matches or anything, I'm going to talk about mostly the background on this thing. The original premise for WrestleMania 4 was not the heavyweight tournament. It was for Hogan to finally lose the heavyweight title, because he was the champ since January 24th, 1984, which he beat the Iron Sheik in Madison Square Garden. And he had been the heavyweight champion ever since. And I think by 1988, people were getting tired of him being the heavyweight champ. He just wrestled the greatest, if not the most famous WrestleMania match of all time. The match we had with Andre the Giant the year before. And they also had this running storyline with Ted DiBiase wanting to buy the heavyweight title. And so the original main event was Hogan versus DiBiase, with Hogan losing to Ted DiBiase for the heavyweight championship. And the other subplot of the big match was supposed to have originally was Randy Savage being the Honky Tonk Man for the IC title. And the Honky Tonk Man said, when he was proposed, Vince McMahon said, look, we're thinking of maybe you losing the title to Randy Savage in WrestleMania 4. And we have a big celebration in all the ring. It's going to be a big deal. For some reason, the Honky Tonk Man said no, he didn't want to do it. For some reason, he didn't want to lose the IC title in WrestleMania 4. I don't know why, but it was on one of those interview segments that's on YouTube with the Honky Tonk Man discussing that. So what he decided to do was to go this other way. Because they did have a rivalry with Andre the Giant, because what happened in WrestleMania 3. And I did describe this in my WrestleMania 3 video, where they had Joey Morello as the referee, and as soon as his hand hit the mat for the third time for the pin attempt on Hogan, after Hogan tried to bite Andre fell on top of him, and they had 1, 2, 3, a 3 count. As soon as the referee's hand hit 3, Hogan's arm went up and jumped up, and they said, the referee said no, it wasn't a 3 count. Well, I felt that he got pinned. A lot of wrestling fans thought he got pinned as well. So there was a controversy that lasted for pretty much a good chunk of that year, and Andre was on the premise of the storyline was with the Hogan Andre feud was for Andre wanting to have a rematch, and Hogan never won. For some reason, he didn't want the rematch, but he wrestled everyone else in Bobby Heenan's stable. He wrestled Hercules Hernandez. He had this was on Saturday's main event, mind you. He wrestled Hercules. He wrestled Paul Orndorff. He wrestled Paul Orndorff a couple of times. He wrestled King Kong Bundy twice on Saturday's main event. But not Andre. And Andre got to the point where he interfered in the match after the match was over, when Hogan beat King Kong Bundy, comes in, and it was a famous clip with him choking on, when Andre was choking Hogan down in the middle of the ring. He said, oh, okay, let's do a rematch. He says they were not going to go this other way, with Hogan losing to DiBiase in WrestleMania 4, so they decided to go this route, and decided to have a live show on NBC television on February the 5th, 1988, which is less than 2 months before WrestleMania, the actual date for WrestleMania 4. And they had a live thing on NBC, and then it drew 3-5 million people. And originally, they were supposed to have 3 matches on that show. The first match was Macho Man Randy Savage versus the Honky Tonk Man for the IC belt, and Savage won on a count out, which was he didn't win the title on that one. The other match was supposed to be the tag team title match or rematch with the Hart Foundation and Strike Force. Strike Force just beat the Hart Foundation for the tag team belts on on the Super Stars of Wrestling show back in the previous November. And of course, the other match was the Hulk Andre match. They didn't get to the tag team match because the Hulk Hogan match took up the majority of that show. On the two matches, the IC belt and the Hulk Andre B match took up most of the show, and that show drew 35 million people. So it was a huge rating for wrestling. It hasn't been on primetime television since maybe back in the 50s, maybe the 60s, if that. So it was a huge number for them, and because most people wanted to see the Hulk Hogan match and of course what happened at WrestleMania 3. So what happened was they came up with this bit when they harping on when Jesse Ventura and Vince McMahon were the announcers for this match, and they were continually harping on the referee, what a great job the referee is doing, and Jesse Ventura makes the comment, boy, am I glad that it's Dave Hebner, the referee, and not Joey Morella, so that we won't have a controversial count. Because Joey Morella was the referee in the Hulk Andre match in WrestleMania 3. So they said, I'm glad we have a different referee, and not the one that was in the WrestleMania 3 match. And they kept harping on the referee, what a great job the guy is doing, he's calling everything down the line and anything else. And I'm saying that I'm watching this thing live, and I'm saying, why are they harping on the referee so much? They hardly ever harp on the referee until when the referee gets knocked out or something. They never really focus on the referee. Then of course they realized what's going to happen, and of course when Hogan, the referee was blasting Virgil, who was Ted DiBiase's bodyguard, and of course Hogan goes for his famous leg drop move on Andre, and the referee was not there to count Andre out. And as Hogan was giving to the referee, Andre gets up, headbutts Hogan a couple of times, then does a suplex Hogan to the mat, names on top of him. The referee counts to 3, and as soon as the referee didn't even count to 2 yet, Hogan's left arm was already up. Left arm was already up. And you can see on the replay, you can see the camera angle was right on, and Hogan says, "Oh, he's not pinned." But the referee counted him out and handed the belt to Andre, and then Andre surrendered the title to Ted DiBiase because he promised to give DiBiase the title after he beat Hogan. And so you had this whole thing going on who's the actual champ. Hogan should have lost, and the whole spiel with that. So Jack Tunney, who was a WWF predecessor, decided to vacate the title and have a heavyweight tournament at WrestleMania 4. And he picked the top 14 guys, and he gives Hogan and Andre a bye in the first round, and this will be the first match of the second round of the tournament. But as the tournament itself, we did have a couple good matches on there. But for the matches that were not involved in the tournament, the very first match of WrestleMania 4 was a 20-man Invitational Battle Royal, which was won by Bad News Brown. And that's sort of a new rivalry with Bret Hart, because Bret Hart got screwed by Bad News Brown in that match. But it was the last WrestleMania match for Junkyard Dog, Ken Patera, and of course a few other wrestlers as well throughout that whole event. So you had that match, and also the match that ended the first half of WrestleMania that didn't involve the tournament was the first match of Ultimate Warrior versus Hercules, with the Ultimate Warrior winning. And then of course you had the other matches that were not involved with the tournament. You had the grudge match between the British Bulldogs and Coco Beware versus the Islanders and Bobby Heenan. And Bobby Heenan, first time he wrestled in a WrestleMania match. And of course with the Islanders and Bobby Heenan winning, the other match being of course the uh, an IC title match between Brutus Beefcake and the Honky Tonk Man, with Brutus Beefcake winning on disqualification. Then you had the tag team title match. It was the last match before the main event, which turned out to be Macho Man and Macho Man versus Ted DiBiase, for the championship. And of course, Demolition being Strikeforce. So again, once again, Tito Santana loses in the WrestleMania match. But for the tournament itself, you did have Dino Bravo versus the Don Morocco. That was a pretty good. No, that was a pretty good match for the first round. Even though Dino Bravo was getting crapped on by the Off the Ropes show guy, who hates Dino Bravo, is glad he's dead, and cursed him out left and right. I don't know why. But and the other good match they had in the first round of the tournament was the Rick Rude versus Jake the Snake, and then went to a 15-minute draw, because the first round was 15 minutes matches, and the second one was 20-minute time limits. The semi-final round was a half hour, and of course the main event, which was the heavyweight title match, or the final match of the tournament, was a no time limit match. That was a pretty good match, and the other matches that were pretty quick. You had the first match was Hacksaw Jim Duggan versus Ted DiBiase, which of course DiBiase got help from Andre in that one. Then of course you had Bam Bam Bigelow versus One Man Gang in one match. The two Factors there. Then you had I forgot what other matches they had. For the first time match, for the second round match, you had Hogan and Andre, and they did have a little vignette on what led up to WrestleMania 4. And then you had a double disqualification for that match, and then you had DiBiase versus Morocco in the very next match, and that was a pretty decent match. It was very quick, but DiBiase won that one, and he won that one legit. I mean, which was pretty rare for him to win a match legit, especially in that time in DiBiase's career. Then you had a bye with the One Man Gang. Had a bye in the third round or the second round. But then you had Greg Valentine. I forgot, Greg Valentine beat Ricky Steamboat. What they could have done, or they should have done, was have a rematch with Savage and Steamboat for the third round, or the second round match. But they didn't do that. They had the heel win, which was Valentine. So they had Valentine and Savage win instead. Which was disappointing, because I would like to see another Randy Savage Steamboat match in WrestleMania. But unfortunately, that didn't happen. But then you had the King Kong. Then you had the One Man Gang versus Savage for the semi-final match to face DiBiase for the final. Because you knew it was going to work out. When DiBiase is going to go all the way to the final, you know that was going to happen already. But the question is, who's going to face DiBiase? If it's going to be Savage or if it's going to be Hogan. And then it worked it out where Hogan was not going to make it to the final, and then Savage did. And Savage beat DiBiase. But the thing that always used to bother me is that in the final match is how Savage won. Savage won by Hogan coming into the ring and hitting DiBiase in the back, not over the head, but across his back. And then DiBiase laying on the floor on the mat like it was dead. And I'm like, how can you knock him out if you didn't hit him in the back, in his head? How can you knock someone out for hitting him in the back instead of the head? You knew that was fake. I mean, he hit him in the back for crying out loud. How can Ted DiBiase in that match be knocked out by getting hit in the back? Come on, use your brain cells here, wrestling fans. But as a show itself, it was a very extremely long show, because they had 17 matches on the card altogether. So it was extremely long to get through. I know people who watched the pay-per-view said the WrestleMania 4 started at 4 p.m. Excuse me. And it started at 4 p.m. and didn't end until like after 9 p.m. at night Eastern time. So it was an extremely long show. And even doing the Rick Rude take the snake route, but you get, I don't know how well it came out on the mic when you could barely hear somebody yell, "Boring!" Because there was very little action in that particular match, and you had very few die-hard wrestling fans in that event. Donald Trump bought a lot of the tickets and copped a lot of the tickets to his friends and whomever, and it was really hard to watch the whole thing because it's, like I said, it's the longest WrestleMania match before, the more modern day WrestleMania, let's say the last 15 years or so, when you have over 4-hour shows and only 7 matches. At least here it was a 4-hour show, but at least you got 17 matches out of it. At least you got something out of it. But that's my review of WrestleMania 4. Please click on the video, please rate it, please subscribe to my channel, and please forward this video onto your Facebook pages. And also you can check out my older reviews on rallyc.com. Thanks for watching, and catch you next time.